Welcome to Streams of Income, hosted by best-selling author and entrepreneur Dr. David Powers, where we discuss streams of income, passive income, residual income, and even why there are dinosaurs and zombies in this intro. Fasten your seatbelts and get ready to dive in.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Streams of Income podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you are willing to give me some of your time to listen to either a business lesson or an interview with an amazing entrepreneur. So once again, thank you for listening to the Streams of Income podcast. I hope you enjoyed this episode. All right, we are here with Chris Lento with EMC Capital. And Chris, is it fair to say you're an expert in multifamily real estate?
I think at this point, yes. I think it's fair to say.
Yep. And I was looking at your website when your assistant first reached out to me, and you got some holdings not too far from me in Charlotte and Stone Mountain. I'm kind of right in the middle between several of your spots.
Where are you located?
I'm in Liberty, South Carolina, not too far from Greenville.
Got it. Yep. Yeah, I know that area.
Yeah. And so real estate, what got you started in the real estate?
So I was an aerospace engineer, but right out of college, I started, I moved into a rental unit and, kind of like, hey, we're paying a lot. I live in Boston and, man, 3-unit apartment. And, me and my friends were paying a pretty good rent, I thought. And then there's 3 other units and I'm kind of looking around. I'm like, who owns this place? How does it work? So I started kind of reading books and asking questions. And then, fast forward about 2 years and I bought one kind of in a rundown neighborhood, but still, moved into it, started fixing it up. And then I've been basically doing real estate since.
Yeah. Wow. A 2-year on-ramp, though. That seems pretty fast to me because I'm not into much real estate myself.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't like, I don't know. It wasn't a career plan, right? It was, like I could live in this thing. And I was also, I'm kind of handy. I've always have been. Yeah. And like, I'm in this rental unit and I'm like, I wouldn't mind fixing up one of these, like while I lived in it. And, so it was kind of a combo of like interests and financial, opportunities. And then I just really liked it.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, me and my wife love watching the income property TV shows on the HGTV and all that. And, I mean, for my audience with the entrepreneurs, I mean, that is definitely one of the easiest ways to get into real estate is just to, buy something where you can rent part of it out, whether it's a basement or another unit or something like that. But man, you've gone crazy though from that one unit to what you have now.
There was a couple big jumps along the way.
How many doors do you guys own now? Or is that the proper way to think of it with multifamily?
Yeah. Just under 1,000.
Okay. Wow. Yep.
Yeah.
So how did you make the big leap from like entrepreneur real estate to, I mean, you're big time now.
Yeah, I think it was a couple of things. So the first was making the realization that I don't have to like buy in my backyard. So, that was always a rule of real estate that I read, always buy in your backyard. And Boston's very expensive. So I sort of bought, 2 of these buildings. So I had 7 units. And I was like, it's going to take me a long time to build a decent portfolio here because at the time, the units were like $300,000 per unit.
Oh, wow.
It just take a long time to buy them and build the rental income and then buy another one. So I started looking at, other markets, and there are markets in the US that, the rent to purchase price ratio, which is a really basic way to think about it. If you have a 1-bedroom apartment, what can I buy it for? And what's my monthly payment? And versus what can I rent it for? And, there's some markets where you can buy it for less than you can rent it for, like kind of, basic math. And so I started thinking, all right, well, let me evaluate some of those markets. And then I bought a property about an hour from Boston. And my kind of plan was I'm going to treat it like it's in Florida. Like I'm going to go there once every 4 months. I'm going to hire a property manager. I've been managing all my own property. And
Oh, okay. Yeah.
on hire a property manager, I'm gonna have like weekly calls or whatever you do with a remote property manager. I'm gonna figure it out, and it worked really well. And I went up there
Yeah.
every 4 months or so. And when there was actually a fire, and I didn't like jump in my car and run up there, I called the property manager and I said, what's going on, and so I managed it like it was remote. And then from there, I actually 1031 or tax deferred exchange that property in Florida.
Okay.
So I kind of proved the model out, and that was a 24 unit. So I went from a 5 unit in Salem, Massachusetts, to a 24 unit in Tallahassee. So that was sort of a big jump. Learned a lot about running a real remote property, a bigger property, a more professional property management company. So that was probably the first thing, is location. Second thing was getting comfortable and wrapping my head around the idea of partnering with equity. Mm-hmm. So not just having all my money, but finding people that are interested in a more passive role that are willing to invest alongside me. And that's really what allowed me to ramp up faster.
Okay.
Because you can kind of only build so fast if it's just your capital.
Yeah. I was listening to a real estate podcast yesterday, and that was one of the biggest things he said is you got to get out of the mindset of doing this with all your money, because it's always going to be so finite.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And there's some benefits of it too. I mean, one, your emotion, not that it goes away, but it's hard to fall in love with a property where the numbers don't work and then get someone to invest with you. Right? Like they're like, this doesn't work,
Yeah.
or, you have to hit returns. Like you have to model it out and say, this is what our agreement's going to be, and you're going to get, projected this amount of return. So it makes you disciplined in your acquisition approach.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. And the property management thing, I mean, all my friends that, big into mostly single family homes, but they swear by property managers, like just get a good one and it makes life so much easier. One of my friends, he's got, I think 12 houses, and he manages one of them because his daughter lives in it and hates every minute of it. He's out there mowing the yard and calling the bug guy and everything else, and wishes he would just get a property manager for that one too.
Yeah, there's a lot. So I had my 12 units that I was managing, my 7 units that I was managing myself. There's just a lot of mental overhead. A lot of little things you have to do and keep up on. And then, like, I didn't get as many, clogged toilet calls in the middle of the night, but I got enough. I got enough so that when the phone rang with a number I didn't recognize, like you had that feeling like, oh, this could be terrible. Like I gotta go deal with it now, I really enjoy having third-party property management and really asset management, which is all the other stuff that's not the day-to-day. So, negotiating the insurance updates, dealing with refinances, dealing with the lender, changing the properties, capital improvements that, I decide we want to make, and then managing the property management is significant effort. It's not passive. We'll put it that way.
Yeah, everybody talks about passive money in real estate, but they quickly realize that it's a different path you got to take to find passive real estate money.
Agreed. Yeah, it's true. You can be truly passive, but you're not. You'll be like a limited partner or a silent partner. Oh
yeah, yeah. So the aerospace stuff, you just completely walked away from it, or do you still dabble or anything like that?
7 years ago, walked away from it. Yeah. Yeah. Which was big, it felt like a risk at the time, but the way I looked at it was I had a good reputation in the field. I could go back. I mean, I don't know about now, but then anytime. So if it didn't work, I had a fallback. It was really just kind of a go risk, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you wanted to go back and work on the mission to Mars or something, you could jump back into it.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. So here's a weird question I ask people sometimes. I mean, because you've obviously made it really good in what you're doing, but what kind of side hustles or jobs you hated, things like that, did you have along the way? Other than property management.
Relative to real estate or just in general?
No, just in general. I kind of like to get an idea of what I don't want people to see trying things as a failure. Like, so maybe they tried things that just didn't work out or they hated it, so they moved on. And so just kind of like to look for those kind of stories.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I really didn't have any, other than real estate, any side hustles. I mean, I started it pretty much right out of college. Yeah, just learning about it, and that was kind of pre-podcast and and the internet was around in 2000, but it wasn't like as
Yeah.
valuable, right? So it was just talking to brokers, reading books, and yeah, that was really my primary one. I didn't pick
Yeah.
anything else up.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That was back in the old days when to do research, we had to go to Barnes and Noble instead of the internet.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Because especially when we're starting out, you got to read those books at the bookstore instead of buying them too. Yeah. So, what's next for you guys? I mean, you have a lot of properties now, but where are you looking at maintenance or expansion? What kind of things you guys?
We're looking at scaling up, so
Okay.
moving out a lot of the smaller ones. So I think my smallest is 24 units, and I have a kind of a handful in the 24 to 50 unit range.
Yeah.
So we're going to exit out of those and move more towards the larger properties. There's a lot of economies of scale, better property management,
Yeah.
better staff. You can put more technology into the properties when they're larger because
Okay.
it supports the cost. So
Yeah.
yeah, basically scaling up. We're still in acquisition mode. We're actually looking at a deal right now that looks very promising outside of Atlanta.
Okay.
So yeah, we're still growing, and hiring. So that's busy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, that's a big difference though, because I mean, a 24 unit, that's what you might call an apartment complex. You get more than that. You're talking almost a small city there.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of like infrastructure and everything, amenities. I mean, everything changes at that point, I would imagine.
Right. And then the way the property management functions changes as well. So the 24 unit, there's a local property manager who handles your calls, but on a 100+ unit, you have on-site staff. So you have a full-time maintenance person, a full-time leasing agent. They're there all the time. They're really extensions of your company.
Oh yeah. 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 Whether people want to think so or not, they treat them like they're employees of yours.
Yeah, I mean, you have to, right? I mean, I just got a text this morning that one of our leasing agents, gave her notice, and then I was texting with the property manager, and, say, hey, sorry, I heard about so and so leaving. We were really trying to keep her, and so just keeping that relationship,
Yeah.
maintained, and letting the staff know that their paycheck comes from the property management company. But we're really the bosses, right? Like we're the ones who are setting the targets, and we own the property. So they indirectly work for us, and we want them to feel like part of our company.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. And if something bad happens, it's your reputation on the line.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Now these big units, I mean, I live near Clemson University, and so they're always adding crazy stuff to the student housing nowadays that wasn't even available when I was in college. So what would you say are the top amenities now that everybody's asking for that you're having to put into these big units?
So the most modern or newest units we have, I'll call them A- units. So we have a couple properties that are older. So they're converted banks or converted schools, and they're top level, but they're not brand new, meaning they don't have rooftop pools or crazy amenities. So we don't get into that like class A new build but I would say some things that we have been doing on our level, which is kind of a class B A-, is we've been putting a lot of smart locks on all the apartments. So like a keypad that also integrates with your phone, so you can just like phone it, you can, open the door like that. Integrated thermostats to that system, and then what that allows you to do is things like, I want to change the code so my dog walker can get in between 2 and 6, and they have their own code. And outside of that time, they can't get in, and I can change it on the fly so they're locked out. Or, I want the thermostat I can on my phone program it so the thermostat kicks to a certain temperature an hour before I get home, and that kind of stuff. So like kind of like integrated technology, I would say.
Yeah,
it's kind
of little things that make life easier.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a couple pet washing stations, which are used here or there. But our properties are not heavy amenity. I'll say that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, if you can get by without having to do all that, I see some places adding pickleball courts and the rooftop pools and everything else. And
right.
I mean, not only is it a lot of money, but the insurance to cover those things has got to be a little wild.
Right, and rooftop pools. I mean, if that leaks, what's the?
Every unit under it.
Right. We did install a pickleball court at one of our places in Georgia, and I think it was a miss. We kind of got
Yeah,
sold by the broker and the property management company that like this is what people want, and they're never used, and they were pretty
yeah,
expensive to put.
yeah,
So
yeah. And it's just kids skateboarding out there, and that's it.
exactly, which is who's on the property. It's a bunch of families. So
Yeah,
we should have really polled the community a little better and said, what would you guys like? What would make this big space better for you? So
yeah.
that was a lesson learned.
Oh yeah, no, that's a good point though, because I mean, a lot of people that they do things without talking to their actual audience. Like they'll do something because they like it, or other people say they want it that aren't even the ones that live there or use the core product,
Yep,
and
absolutely.
save a lot of money doing that.
Right. And then you get a happier like resident base, right? They get what they
Yeah.
want, not like what you think they want.
Oh yeah. Yep. Yep. So with your company now, can people invest into the stuff you're doing, or is it only
Yeah.
from credit investors? How does that work?
So we do primarily accredited investors, but sometimes we'll open like the beginning of an investment up to non-accredited investors for a certain time,
Okay.
and then we'll switch over to
Yeah.
accredited.
Okay. Because I mean, I really like that approach. I mean, it's one thing to just go out and buy a single family home, something like that. But what do you call it? Fractional real estate, where or you just get involved in the equity side of it. It's a great way for people to get involved, but I mean, definitely more passive for them.
I mean, it's 100% passive. The role of the investor is evaluate the opportunity, do all the due diligence that you feel you need to be comfortable, invest, read the newsletters once a month, deposit the
Yeah.
checks, and then ask questions where needed. I mean, there's really no decision making or role for the limited partner in that scenario. So it is a good
Yeah.
way to get diversification into real estate without having to, do the day to day.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. And what is the best way for people to get in touch with you and check out the company and everything?
Probably my website. It's emcapitalgroup.com. And then I'm
EM
pretty
Capital
active on
Group.
LinkedIn as well.
Okay. Yeah, that's where I started looking up your stuff. Your assistant sent me to your LinkedIn profile. And you
Yeah.
guys are pretty busy on there.
Yeah. She does a good job keeping that going.
Oh yeah. It's like a property manager. You need to hire an expert to do the things that you're either not the best at or don't want to do.
Yep. Absolutely. I mean, everyone's good at something, right? And you're better off doing something
Yeah.
that you're good at and you like.
Yeah, absolutely. I tell you what, though, before we close out, one thing I like to ask everybody at the end, if you could recommend top 3 books or podcasts, things like that have shaped your life and set you up for success, what would your top 3 recommendations be?
Top 3. All right. So one for book, and you kind of just hit on it right there with your last comment, is this book called Who Not How.
Who Not How.
And the general premise is like, if you're asking like how to do something, you're asking the wrong question. It's who's the right person to do this, because someone out there already knows how to do it and do it really well and likes to do it. So find that person. Don't figure out how to do it.
Ah, perfect.
That's a good book. Let me think. I think that Joe Fairless's best ever real estate syndication book is just a great overview of what like apartment investing is. It's not an easy read. Like it's not, a 100-page book where the first half of it's about my journey. And, there's like one page of actual value, but it's not a real estate textbook. It's a good in between. So it's a read.
Okay.
It's not a page turner, but it's very, very informative.
No, that's good because I mean, like Rich Dad Poor Dad, it's all story, no strategy, and you kind of
Right. Yeah. There's like a continuum, right,
bridge that gap.
of books. Like that's a great entry book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, just to sort of get your feet wet. This was like a advanced intermediate kind of book, I feel like. Third one. There's a book called Emerging Markets Real Estate that really got me thinking about just multiple different markets and the idea that you don't have to invest in your own backyard. So I would say those are 3 resources just off the top of my head.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's great. That's great because I do get a lot of moms and dads they want to escape W-2, and real estate is an amazing way to do that. And with what you're doing too, they can get invested while they're working the W-2 and not have to just give that up to jump into it.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
Get some experience along the way. You can like you can ask a lot of questions and get some understanding of how the process works.
Yeah, yeah, because I mean, they watch TV shows and start thinking flipping a house is the best way to do it, and yeah, that's just a nightmare trying to flip a house while you're working a full-time job. And
Right, right. Lot of hands-on work involved in flipping a house.
oh yeah, yep, yep. That would go back to your old days, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, Chris, thanks for being on here and for being with us. You are my first multifamily real estate person I've had on, and so you command the room now, man.
All right, it's an honor. Thank you.
Yep. Thanks for being with us.
Great. Thanks. Have a great one.
Hey, everybody. Before we close out, first of all, I hope you enjoyed that podcast, whether it was an interview with an amazing entrepreneur or a business lesson for me. I sincerely hope that you gained something from it that you can use in your life moving forward. Before I leave, though, I need to mention that this podcast is sponsored by Lowe's Home Improvement Stores. I have become a Lowe's creator. It's a pretty cool thing because on this farm, I mean, I'm looking out the window right now and seeing all the things that I want to do around here. Most of these things I can do with products from Lowe's Home Improvement. And so I'm excited to be a Lowe's creator. If you want to check out some things from them and order some stuff and see my specially curated Lowe's storefront, you can click in the show notes. There's a link there for you. And I hope you build some amazing things. And hey, you know what? If you do, send me pictures. I would absolutely love to see the amazing things that you're building at your house using Lowe's products or anything else, really. I'm just curious. I want to know everything about you and everything about the cool projects you're doing because I'll be honest with you, I get some neat ideas for things I want to do at my house as well. All right, y'all take care. Thanks for listening.